Hello, in this action-packed video we're going to change oil in a 2017 Audi A6 Quattro 3.0 liter V6 supercharged.
It's kind of a quick rundown of what you're going to need: a flashlight, oil filter. I have two, and I think it's worth talking about that each of these are the same filter. Different labeling, but exact same filter, so show it later in the video. But you might be able to score one of these cheaper than the other, but get the same item. Torque wrench, socket wrench, 13 millimeter. May or may not want to use a flathead or a Phillips, depending on how much of the underneath you want to take off if you're looking to inspect the car. You will need a T25, a Torx 25, a Torx 30, and for the actual drain plug, it is a Torx, and you'll need a T45. Extension is not a bad idea. For the filter, a 36 millimeter socket. We're going to use Castrol 5W40. This is the synthetic, fully synthetic. Not a bad idea to get some spare washers. You may not always have to replace the drain plug. If it's in good shape, just a washer is probably a good idea. Nice little funnel. This right here, if we look, we're going to be doing the A6 3.0 liter. That is 6.8 liters, 7.2 quarts, and then that's approximate quart quantity with filter change. All right, let's get started. Just kind of a quick rundown. So this is the V6 TFSI. This is where your oil goes. If you look back here, right there, that is going to be your oil filter. It's located at the top.
I recommend taking off the engine covers so you have better access to the oil filter. It's not that hard to do. Just kind of got to give it a tug on each of the four corners. And once you get it off, you'll see it is held together by these little points, and those are little rubber grommets. There's one, number two, let's show you number three, and four. And like I said, there's little rubbery, spongy kind of contact points, and that's held on by these one, two, number three. Oh, nope, number three's hiding. Number three, and number four. You will need to get the car up into the air. I recommend these low-profile ramps, race ramps. They're certainly not on the cheap side, but they do a great job. You can use a low-profile jack, but these are very safe.
When you do get under the car, you're going to note here, T25, T25. If you come back towards the back, that's where the two pieces meet. These are the T30s, 1, 2, 3. T25, and you'll notice here, 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 and here, 13 millimeter bolts. We're going to remove those, and then we should get access to the oil pan.
It's the exciting part of the video where you get to watch someone remove bolts. There's three Torx 30, T30 towards the rear. Along the sides, the T25, there are 7 of those. And then there are 4 13 millimeter bolts. Number 2 right there, number 3, and 4. Once you remove that, there's the oil pan. Don't forget to let your car warm up a little bit, maybe 5 minutes. use your T45 Torx. The oil plug will unscrew and drop right out, and there you have it.
So as that's draining, go ahead, take that off, put it somewhere safe. That'll sometimes work. And then you're gonna need to come down here, and I just like to loosen that a little bit. Probably doesn't make a huge difference, but seems to work for me. This part can be a little messy. Once you've loosened this, you should be able to do it by hand. It's a little tight. The piece that holds the actual filter is plastic. So, a lot of stuff is plastic. About to come off. I always keep a bucket here. There you have it. As you can see, there's your old O-ring, and we'll bring this out into the light.
Just something to note, when you're looking for oil filters for this car, what I've noticed from purchasing from a couple different stores now, they're in different packaging, but the same filter. This MAN filter is made in Czechoslovakia. It's a little green O-ring. The CarQuest filter, pull it out, it says Czechoslovakia, and hiding down in there is a little O-ring. As time goes on, buy the cheapest one.
Everybody's going to have a slightly different method to their madness. I like to take a little pick, get up underneath there, just kind of pop that guy off. Actually pretty easy. Don't necessarily even need a pick. And there you have it. This filter, sometimes easy, sometimes hard, clicks in. A little bit of resistance, not bad looking. So now I go ahead and just clean this out and then prep it for the new one. Looking at the new filter, there's not necessarily a right or wrong way. I put the non-writing end down here. It's seated, makes a little popping noise, has some resistance. Don't forget your O-ring down there. And what you'll note is it looks like there are 3 ridges that this O-ring could sit in. In reality, the 2 bottom ones have a small piece of plastic. The one at the top has no restriction point, so it falls right into the line. Here we go. Going to want to put a little lube right around here, a little oil, and then maybe a little oil in there.
Once I'm ready to put the oil filter back, I kind of like to clean out the filter area. take a rag, kind of sop up as much oil as I can get. Be sure not to leave any rag residue or cloth in there. And then just take the new filter, make sure it's threaded on straight, and slowly turn it. It'll eventually get to the point where you cannot turn it anymore by hand, and after that you'll need to get the torque wrench. Once you have your torque wrench, grab your 36mm socket and set your torque wrench to 25 Newton meters. That's about 18.5 foot-pounds. And very carefully tighten the oil filter housing. And be sure, once it clicks, do not over-tighten. You're in the home stretch now. Alright, clean the area. Grab that drain plug. Be sure to get a good new washer. Put it on there. I screw it in by hand, and I take my socket and my T45, and I very carefully, making sure threads are matched, tighten it. I tighten mine to 20 foot-pounds with the torque wrench, or with my hand. Be very careful. You don't want to crack this. Alright, grab that funnel. It's oil time. The 2017 Audi A6 3.0 liter supercharged engine takes 6.8 liters or 7.2 quarts of oil. What I usually do is fill it up to about 7 quarts. That seems to work out. I also purchased a dipstick for this car, and I can show that later, and you can also check it with the computer as well. But once you put the oil in, be sure to grab your funnel, and most importantly, don't forget the safe place you kept the oil cap. Put your oil cap back on. So now we go back underneath. We want to reinstall the underbody cover. I start with the 4 13mm bolts and kind of hand snug each one of those. I then go around the front and the edges and put the T25 Torx. There's 7 of them. Once that is done, I go to the back and I do the 3 T30s. And then finally I get my 13mm socket and I tighten up the remaining 4 bolts. Once on level ground, I like to take a moment when the engine's a little cooler, check the oil filter area, make sure there are no leaks. This car does not come with a dipstick. Can you believe it? You got to buy one separately. I did so just to have a double check once I change oil, and the location is actually up in the front there. There's a little plug where the dipstick would go. You need to remove that.
I like to do this. You can check, and as you can see, we are just right below the max. So we're in the safety zone. We'll put that back in. Clean it off. And be sure to put this little cap back on.
Just to note, I don't actually drive with that dipstick in, just in case there was a real reason they didn't include it. You just never know. And these cars are too expensive to guess.
And while we're at it, let's put our cover back on. Skinny in the back, wider in the front. And it usually just falls right in. And for our finale, we'll check the oil via the computer, and you are done. Pretty easy job.
Okay, after the car's been warmed up a little bit, turn it off, jump in, select car systems, go to service and control, From there, go to oil level, and there you have it. Just about where we thought. Man, oh man, you did a great job. Now get out there and go enjoy this car. These Audis are a lot of fun.